Amy. Welcome to the Singapore Online English Toastmasters Club. I'm the SA and the club president of this club. Okay, at the bottom of your screen, there's a mute button. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself. This is because any sound that you make, the recording will, the Zoom meeting will be recorded, and then you will be shown on the main screen. If you are going away for a while, please stop your video, and then if you need to something to eat, stop your video so that it will not be recorded. Okay. Then if you need to call someone in the meeting, use the chat function. Do not just use the mic and call people, because your view of the meeting, the main screen will capture your main screen. On the top right hand corner, there's a speaker view, means you only see the speaker who is speaking. If you don't want to see the speaker, you want to see everyone, you use the gallery. Normally, if you are the speaker, you are the prepared speech speaker, table topic speaker, evaluator, please use the speaker gallery view so that you can see other people. You can see the timer. There's a screen of the gallery view. Other line is the timer, so you can see the timer there. So if you are able, and I will pass the control to a meeting to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anna.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Anand, and this is my first time on this Singapore Online Toastmasters Club. Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Valentine's Day.
Morning and happy Valentine's.
Morning. Morning, Uncle Lime. All right. I'd like to go around to each and everyone and just briefly introduce yourself and what do you think of Valentine's Day? So can we first start with Dennis?
Okay. I'm Dennis Ham. I'm in the United States and California. And right now it is 5 in the morning. So it's a little bit early for me. I know it's late for most of you, but for me, I had to get up early. Valentine's Day is kind of special, especially if you have a special person that you like. You try to remember that person and remember to send some kind of a Valentine's greeting to them. So I really like Valentine's Day. Back to you, Mr.
Right.
Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Dennis, for sharing your views. Can we have Angela next? Angela, you have to unmute your mic. All right. But we can't hear you, Angela. Okay, while you try to figure out your sound system, can we go to the next one, Kathy?
Right. Hi, everybody. So it was an interesting start for me. Early morning, I had so many chat messages from friends with the Valentine's Day message. And I was so busy saying thank you and greeting them. And Valentine's Day has always been special because my children will make cute cards with lots of heart shapes on the cards for me. So it's not just for lovers. I think it's for anyone,
Yes.
you know, who has love in the heart and, you know, would like to share the love and warmth with others, like friends, family, and colleagues too. So it was interesting. It was fun.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing, Kathy.
Yes, welcome.
Okay, can we go to Uncle Lime, our timer for today? Uncle Lime?
Yes, okay, I'm Gerald. My nickname keep changes in every online meeting. So I know as Lime. Previously, I had many nicknames. I'm from Toa Payoh South Toastmaster, ex-co of Toa Payoh South, club coach of Senja Cashew, club coach of Nee Soon South, and I also concurrently the Division D secretary in the councils and the PR for Division E. Yes, so quite a few changes going on, different committee. So my day job is I just do facilitate workshops entirely on Lego bricks. So in view of this virus situation, I might upgrade my Zoom platform account sooner or later. Okay, I'm going to hide in my Manicam view already.
All right, thank you, Gerald. Next, can we have Joan? Hello, Joan. Okay, could you just introduce yourself and what do you think of the Valentine's Day? Okay, you have to unmute your button, Joan. Joan, you have to unmute your mic.
Okay, my name is
wonderful.
Joan D'Souza. My name is Joan D'Souza. I'm from TMCS, Toastmasters Club of Singapore.
All right.
I've been in Singapore for the past 5 years now. I really enjoy online meeting Toastmasters Club. It's made my life very convenient and easy. I can sit at home and gain a lot of knowledge. So it is, and meet so many new friends from all over the world and Singapore.
All right.
And what I think about Valentine's Day is, I feel Valentine is, it's the day where everyone seems to be, everybody is so happy and smiling all the time. So, you know, it's nice to see everyone laughing and smiling, even when you're traveling on even when you're walking on the road or, so it's like everybody feels the joy of it. And I guess love is something is so basic need. Everyone wants to share love. And I think Valentine is a day to celebrate that moment. But how we all feel the need to share love with each other. It doesn't matter. It's not just between husband and wife or girlfriend and boyfriend, but for everyone, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your enemies. It's the day to really spread joy, love, and warmth. And we have to cherish this and look at it in a very different perspective, especially since there's so many animals, so much of people are breeding, so much of, people are not feeling so much in harmony with each other. So I think Valentine's Day, we have to celebrate every day, just not on 14th of Feb.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Okay, next, can we have Alicia?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. Well, for me, I'm currently the president of Whampoa Toastmaster Club, mentor for Sok Jen Toastmaster Club, and also the treasurer for Singapore Online Toastmaster Club. For me, I feel that Valentine's Day, I try to spread love around. And recently, I've been spreading love with my girlfriends, with my parents, and also with my Toastmaster Club of Singapore here. And I would like to also highlight that Valentine's Day is very popular, right? But there's also another event yesterday that you guys may have missed it. It's called Galentine's Day. Galantine, Galentine's Day.
Okay.
This is to celebrate friendship of girls. Girl-to-girl friendship. Sorry, they didn't come out with a guy-to-guy friendship. So I thought this was quite interesting because someone sent me, I thought it was Valentine. Then on closer look, it was Galentine's Day. G-A-L.
Oh.
Back to you,
Okay.
Toastmaster Day.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you for sharing Galentine's Day. Yeah, I saw a GIF with the word Galentine's Day, so I thought it was a typo, and I didn't send it out to anyone. Okay, now I know better. Thank you for sharing. Next, can we have Mikiko Bando? Mikiko.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Miki. Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Mikiko Bando from Diversity Toastmasters Club, Japan. And Actually, in Japan, I belong to 4 Toastmasters Club. And one of them is online Toastmasters Club. And I very enjoyed this kind of meeting. So thank you for having me today. And as for Valentine's Day, yeah, in Japan, it means a lot of commercial meanings. So as a department store today, they sell lots of chocolate to girls and boys. And also in my workplace, they prepared some chocolate to workers. So I've enjoyed a lot. And at home, my husband was given some cute handmade chocolate from his daughter-in-law. So he was very happy. But actually, back in around 20 years ago, I gave him a chocolate for the first time. But later our marriage, I found he didn't eat this chocolate. He just put this chocolate box in the fridge. And I found it that I got very shocked, and I decided I didn't give him the chocolate maybe after that. But actually, we've enjoyed this eating chocolate very much, and I enjoy this kind of event in Japan. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Mikiko, for sharing. Okay, next, can we have Wei Ching?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, good to see everybody here. This is a very interesting experience. I'm from Toastmaster in Christ. So our club have meeting on Saturday, the second Saturday and the fourth Monday. For me, Valentine's Day is we can choose to celebrate it or just ignore it. The reason that to ignore it is just because it becomes too commercial. So if you want to show love to your friends or celebrate friendship, you can do it any day that you like. You don't need to select a particular day. I mean, there's no point of buying just one rose for $10. Why not you just buy 3 roses any day, then you can give to 3 people, and the more the merrier, right?
Great.
So for me, I would just, especially for this year, I would just say like, well, ignore it. Back to you.
Thank you, Wei Ching. Yeah, me too. Every day should be Valentine's Day, not just today. Thanks for sharing. Okay, can we have Angela? Are you good to go? Okay, wait, let me unmute you. Are you good to go?
Yes.
Angela? All right, wonderful. Let's have
Hello.
Angela.
Hello, everybody. As you can hear, I am British, and I'm going back to England shortly to the club where I first started for a couple of weeks. But over here, I belong to 2 clubs. I'm president of Bradwell Heights Advanced. We're meeting tomorrow. If any of you are free between 2 and 5, please come along, because we're starting our speechcraft and having a workshop in evaluation. And also I'm getting ready because the theme is Valentine's Day with all the hearts, which I will pack up in my little suitcase and charge off with. And I'm delighted to be on here because I'm also AD area director, and I'm thinking I might have to run my entire contest online. So this is a wonderful practice. And I've been a member here right from the beginning of the year. So this is what 2020 is to me. And love, yes, I love everybody because I know so many of you already, and it's so intimate to be on a computer with you. It's even closer than being in a room. It's odd that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela. Okay, next, can I have Professor Somboon?
Yes, my name is Somboon. I am here in Cambodia, the land of wonder. And for the online meeting. I'm just very new to this, and I belong to Thailand Online Toastmaster Club, and also Cambodia Postbank Club, and also the PUC Club. And I know about this club because of my mentor, Billy. He introduced the club to me, and I am amazed to see how many people are here in the club, because the Thailand Online Toastmaster Club, we don't have this many. And Billy is our mentor to the club. And I appreciate his willingness to help our club on this. And in terms of Valentine's Day, I'm happy it's only one day a year. If it happened every day, I hate to see buying a $10 roses or one roses every day. And in Cambodia, the Valentine just introduced to Cambodia, and now the younger generation, they take it up like a fire. Everybody going out at night. So today, the traffic is very bad because of Valentine's Day. But I guess they have to go with the flow. And for me, Valentine's Day is very special. Like a lot of you expressed. And the day that you give love to the whole world, the day that you enjoy yourself and your family, at least you have some time to do that once a year is better than nothing. So I'm happy to that we are on the Valentine's Day and happen to be on the same meeting today. And I do appreciate you allow me to join, and thank you, Billy, to introduce this club to me. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Okay, next online, can we have Panos Corel to introduce yourself and what do you think about Valentine's Day?
With pleasure, Toastmaster of the evening. My name is Panos Korelis, and I'm from District 109. No worries that this is somewhere in Europe. It's a little bit far, but thanks to the online world, I'm sitting virtually in the same room as all of you tonight.
Yeah.
And in a way, we are celebrating our own Valentine. So I got something to say about the positivity of that day, which is a wonderful reminder. In my opinion, we do not have enough reminders throughout the year to be expressing love for one another. In another way, we tend to focus all our love expression on days like this and anniversaries and other similar special occasions. So I wonder, and I'd like to leave you with this question. How about if we started each and every day of our lives by asking ourselves the question, good morning, self, where is the love today?
Nice.
Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Panos. Very nice. Thank you. Next, can we have Abdul Karimi to introduce yourself and what do you think about Valentine's Day? Hello, Karimi. Oh, all right.
Yes, hello, how you doing?
Hello.
Yes, how you doing? My name is Abdul Karimi. I am from New York, and I think it's a beautiful day in New York, and I am proud that everybody is enjoying the Valentine's Day. It is a special Valentine's, especially if you have a girlfriend or a wife, which is a good thing. And hopefully everyone enjoys their time. And thank you for the chance to make me talk. Back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Abdul. It looks pretty cool in your place.
Yes.
Okay. As for me, have I gotten everybody? Yes, I think I've gotten everyone. For me, well, my name is Anand. I'm from Singapore. I'm a member of 3 clubs in Singapore. What do I think about Valentine's Day? It's about food, nothing but food. Today, my wife got some cupcakes from 12 cupcakes, and I've been busy eating up all those cupcakes. So for me, Valentine's Day is just about food. All right, so I'd like to kick off this meeting by having our club president to deliver his opening address. I hand over it to Willie, our club president. Over to you, Willie.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, of the day, or wherever you are, okay? May I have a show you who is not married yet? I only know 2 persons. Oh, that's a joke, Danny. Okay, never mind. The message to, although the theme of this meeting is lesser will love. Many of us have been through relationship after relationship, or some of us are still not attached. I remember the first time I had my first girlfriend, not those girlfriend that only meet you a few times to go out. Those girlfriend who with you for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, that is considered a girlfriend. Those who are with you for just 1 month, 2 months, that is to get used to your, whether they like you or not. That is the friendship. That is not girlfriend. Along the way, my first girlfriend was very, how shall I say, very dedicated, very carry, etc., etc. But along the way, I feel so stressed after the 4th, 5th year. Why? Because she want me to sign the dotted line at our wedding. That was really a stress. At that time, I remember I just started my career. I just came out of army. And then she want commitment. I couldn't have the commitment because I'm not ready. Because first thing is bread and butter is the first thing that comes to my mind after leaving the army. So this never worked out. After a few years later, after working, I become more desperate because I have more time, because I don't have time for her. But then she got a new boyfriend. Her boyfriend is better than me. She tell me that. I'm still communicating with her till now. A few years later, I believe it's just 2 years later, I got my second girlfriend. That is my current wife. I don't have other girlfriend in between. Lesson I learned is we need to first, if we need to understand their emotion when we make a statement. It's the same like in Toastmaster. We like when some of the Toastmaster that you know me in person, you know, sometimes my words is very cruel. I'm not for some club who have invited me as an evaluator, they do not dare to invite me anymore because my evaluation is very straight to the point. Because I can say that my evaluation is mostly on the project objective, none that speech delivery. So this is why they don't understand how I do it. So I know we have 2 Toastmasters for Singapore. They are still thinking what to invite me or not. Okay. But along the way, I have learned in Toastmaster to use the right word. Because beginning, I know that when I'm moody, I tend to use really straight to the point and cruel words. But now, in last few years after I joined Toastmaster, that was since 2003. That was a very long time. I have learned to use better words. Think before you speak and then continue what. So the lesson learned is you must listen. Actually, it's the same concept we learn in Toastmaster. Listen, think, speak, and do. It's the same concept. Lesson learned. It's not about could be carry all this thing. It's about the 4 things that we learn in Toastmaster can be applied in our love life, whether you are married or you're not married, or even for some other reason. So use the 4 method, the 4 skill that we learn in Toastmaster. I repeat myself: listen, think, speak, and do. It will help you to have a long journey. Currently, my wife and myself are in the 40s, means have been married since 2003. That was the year that I got Toastmaster. That was a long way. So it's through understanding of the person that you get to that have a long-term relationship. People, I have seen couple break up because of differences, because they don't understand. They actually what they want is just a few of what is like in a family. This is what. So let me end my speech by coming with a quote. You cannot take love for granted. You go wait. For those who are married, you do not wait and sit down at your home. You need to go out and meet people so that you can get to know a person who may be your potential spouse. Over back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, really, for your sharing. Listen, think, speak, and do. Wonderful. Yes. I guess I have to incorporate this in my speeches as well, too. Thanks for sharing, Willie. All right. The first thing, has everybody got the program sheet from the link Willie sent out earlier? Okay, so just let me quickly run with you the program sheet. The first thing on the agenda today will be the table topics, which will be hosted by Dennis Ham. So after which we will have the speeches, and the first one to speak for today will be CJ, but I don't see him online now. So perhaps we could get the second speaker, maybe the third speaker, Panos.
Table topic first.
We'll go to the table topics first, eh? Okay, sure. So can I hand it over to Dennis for the table topics, to take over for the table topics for tonight. Dennis, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I've got to be able to share my screen, so let me see if I can bring it up. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody. Table topics is just like table topics in your regular Toastmasters Club, except that we have 20 different options for you for table topics. Let's see if I can get to the right part of my screen to get there. Let's see. Oops.
Use the last icon.
There we go. Okay. All right, everybody. The table topics today is going to be related to love, since that is our general theme. And I have 20 different questions related to love. There are things that you like or love, or something that's your favorite. So that's the general idea for table topics today. What I will be doing is I will be highlighting your picture, and I will be calling on you, so you'll know if because I may mispronounce your name, but if you see the yellow frame around your face, that means you're the speaker for the 1 to 2 minutes. So table topics is just like any other club. It is from 1 to 2 minutes, and make sure that you can see, let's see, I think it's Uncle Lime today for table topics, and he has the timing, so watch for his window frame. All right, everybody ready? Okay, here are the 20 options, and I will be selecting some, but let me see if I can let me see, I think I will pick on Panos first. And so Panos, I think can you see the yellow frame highlighting you? Okay, so please pick a number between 1 and 20.
All right, number 14. Since it is the 14, I expect something special to be behind number 14.
The 14 is, my favorite way to exercise is, and finish the question, please.
I do have a favorite way to exercise, but I will not focus on exercising my body. Dear Table Topics Master and fellow Toastmasters, I have a favorite way of exercising love, and I do call it the love exercise. And it's very, very simple and straightforward, and all of you are immediately able to do it. Let me show you the exercise. It's this. This is very effective, and the best thing about it is that you can do it anytime, any place, and it works best when you have a fellow human being standing in front of you. And why is this exercise so effective? Because it is the only exercise that I know that the moment we do the exercise, the other person is inspired to do the same love exercise at the same time. So you see, now you know, one of the most effective ways to do the love exercise is as simple as looking in the eyes and smile.
Okay,
Back
thank
to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Panos. All right, hopefully my connection will be stable here. The next person, let me see. I'm going to highlight. Let's see. Can you see who's highlighted? Mr. Professor, please pick a number between 1 and 20.
So is that me?
Yes.
Okay. I always looking forward ahead, so I would pick number 15.
15, okay. Let's see if I can get to number 15. Okay, my favorite way to relax is
okay. My favorite way to relax is, I have many ways to relax, but the most that I relax the most would be listening to the music. Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmaster and guests, I believe the music always put me into a relaxing mode, especially in the evening after work, and when you came back after you having a hard time during the working hour, and then coming home, you would rush through the traffic light and then have a dinner. After that, I would find myself to be relaxed, and sometimes I do the meditation, which help me to clean myself, to get myself kind of like take some toxic of during the day out from me, and fill in with love, fill in with the music. So I this is what I like to do to relax. And sometimes one way to relax would be take my family out to the park and then walk in the park, or sometimes we go swimming. Okay, because at my house we have a sport club, and they have a nice big swimming pool where you can sit down and relax and then swimming. And at the same time, if anybody want to go do some exercise, they can exercise. So this would be the mean of relaxation to me. So I would say that listen to the music would be my first choice, and then do some meditation, and then enjoy myself with families. So those are the three things that I see relaxing to me. And back to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's see, who's the next victim? Let's try, see, Kathy? Please pick a number, Kathy.
Let me go for 20.
20, okay.
Yes.
Let's see if I can get 20 up here.
Yeah.
All right. Number 20. Okay, my favorite Valentine's, let's see if I uncover this for you. My favorite Valentine's gift that I want to, let's see. I can't get it to show up for you. My favorite Valentine's Day gift that I would like to receive is?
Right. So my favorite Valentine's Day gift that I would like to receive is, this is an interesting one. Right. So hello everybody. So it's the contest season in our country in Singapore, and currently we are, battling with the coronavirus. So it's a huge thing in our country, and today my Valentine's Day gift that I would like, for all of us to receive is to be safe and, be able to be ready before, the virus spreads, and where people will, scramble to go find a safe place. But before all of that happens, what I would like is for us to be able to be self-sustaining, like being safe in a safe spot. So the situation is every day, our government, we're doing a good job. We are trying to make sure that the virus is contained, and we are all safe. And my wish, seriously, separate from getting gifts from my children, like cute Valentine's card, my wish for today would be for everyone to remain safe, and for the virus to mysteriously disappear, and let us all have a miracle somehow. So that's what I was telling my mom too. I wish all of this would just vanish into the air, boom, like that. And when we wake up the next day, all of it is gone. No disaster. Everyone's happy. There's joy, and that we all learn a good lesson from this calamity that's kind of fallen on all of us. That we should always be prepared and safe, and be neighborly in that sense. Don't pity people. Don't look at others with empathy, but jump in to help one another, especially when you see countries close to us suffering, to jump in and help them as much as possible, and not just say that that's happening to them in their country and they deserve it, but just embrace love. And that would be my wish. Yes, everything to just vanish like a miracle, and things to go smooth. So the next day will be like, wow, no virus. Yeah. So that would be my Valentine's Day gift for everyone, not just for Singapore, but for the whole world, I would say. Yes, back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much. That's a very wonderful gift for everybody. Hope
Yeah.
that will happen soon.
Yes, I hope so too.
Okay, let's see. How about, let's see, Makiko? Let's see, did I highlight Makiko?
May I?
Yes, please pick a number between 1 and 20.
Can I choose number table topics 4?
Okay. Let's see if I can get find number 4 for you. Number 4. My favorite place to travel is.
Oh. Yeah, my favorite place to travel is. Thank you, Toastmaster, and good evening, everyone again. So my favorite place to travel is actually I think I like Australia. I have traveled Australia for twice, and first time I traveled Paris, how can I say, southern part of Australia, and the next is my friends, where the place my friends live in is called Weeper, the northern part of Australia, but it was very peaceful and not so urbanized, but I can enjoy nature. And my friends have a boat at that time, had a boat, and we rode on a boat to the deserted beach. So no one was there except my friends and I and my husband. And we made a barbecue and watching the sunrise. It was so magnificent, and I enjoyed the nature very much. Since I live in the small town in Japan, I've never seen such a kind of huge can say horizon or something near the beach. So I enjoyed the nature very much with the beautiful Australian barbecue style. So my favorite place to travel is, I think, Australia. And maybe I visited Singapore once, and I enjoyed the Marion or Orchid Garden or night safari. I could remember clearly. I enjoyed a lot. Especially the beautiful city is very impressive to me. So maybe back to the question, Australia, Singapore are my favorite place to travel. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
Master.
One of these days, I'd like to go to Australia too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Who will be the next person? Let's see. How about Wei Ching? Pick a number, please.
Number 9, please.
9, okay.
Yes.
Let me see if I can find number 9 for you. Number 9. Okay, number 9. What do you love about your significant other?
Can I start? Good evening. So I will have to say this is a difficult topic because first I have to know who is the significant others. So it can be the special guy, or it can also be someone who influenced my life very much. So I will have to say my significant others will be my father. So what do I love about my father? He's a very humble guy, and he is a very responsible father. However, he's seldom, like most of the Asian father, he seldom show his emotion outwardly or explicitly. And because of this, it made me always want to get closer to him. And the things that I like about him the most is he is very patient, and he always willing to sit down and listen to me and listen to others' children in the family as well. So I think if I want to list down what is the characteristic that I wish my future partner to have, probably it will mirror what my father has, which like patience and humble, as well as responsible. And one of the special character that my father has is also very popular characteristic for women is he's also very humorous. So he like to crack jokes, and that's why whenever I spend time with him, it won't be boring, and it always have a happy memory. So my significant others, my lovely dad is a humble guy, always patient, a good listener, and a humorous guy. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Those are very good qualities for someone to have. Very good. Thank you. Let's see, the next person. How about Sita? Please pick a number between 1 and 20.
Number 1, please.
Number 1, okay. Number 1. My first pet that I loved was...
Hello, Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen. My first pet that I love was a dog. He was a lost dog. Went to my house from nowhere. I don't know. Maybe I lost from his previous owner, but he lost to my house when I was 6. Yes, when I was 6. So that time I was excited because I have no pet before. I live in a small house. I have no great yard in the area, or a park can close my house. So I kept the dog in my room, and yes, he eats with me. I cook for him because I was young, so I just stupid cook like a rice and a fish, fried fish, put it together and feed him. I was so young, I have no money. I couldn't feed him by a dog food like today that we have. And I raised him about 2 years. So when I was 8 or 9, he got crashed by a car. It was an accident. So a car crashed him. He also suffered that time. So my neighborhood released him by something I don't want to talk about, but I maybe here live this world with peace. I miss him, and he was a dog, just one dog in my life. This is all my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's hard to lose an animal or a very close friend. Let's see, I think we've got time for one more and then we will vote. So let me see, how about, I'm gonna ask, let's see. I can't, well, okay, let me pick someone else. Actually, I was gonna pick Joan. Joan, are you still there?
Calling once, calling twice,
Hello, I am still here. Okay, one
Okay,
minute.
all right.
I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay, please
Okay. Can you
pick
see
a
me?
number. Yes. Please pick a number between 1 and 20.
Say I'll go for 16.
16, okay. See if I can find 16 for you. 16. I love chocolate because.
Okay. I love chocolate because I feel that chocolate is something which spreads love. When you think of chocolate, it's all about love. That's the first thing that people give to others who they feel really close to, who they feel really dear to. And, you know, especially during Valentine's Day, chocolates are very popular for everyone. And chocolate is a blend of, I mean, you get different kinds of blends too, like bitter, sweet chocolates and bitter chocolates, semi-sweet, and so on. But there is always sweetness in chocolate, and that's something that I love. So for me, sweetness is a sense of happiness, joy, love, care. And this is what, you know, chocolates are meant for. Whenever we feel low, we have chocolates, because chocolates also make you high and make your adrenaline run fast. So that's why I love chocolates. So I love chocolates because it's a symbol of joy and peace and love. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmasters of the day.
Hey, thank you, Joan. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for participating. And we'll see if the poll is up and ready for everybody to vote. Looks like everybody was fairly close on time. There was a few that were a little bit long, but I think we'll let everybody go. So, we ready to vote? Okay, please.
Okay. Oh, something wrong with the poll. Wait a while.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I think waiting should be waiting.
I might just vote.
Okay, we have 9 of 13. We got 69%. Okay, 84%. Couple more. Okay, we got almost everybody voted. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end the polling. And it looks like Panos is the winner today. Congratulations, Panos. Okay, I'm gonna conclude my part of the program and return the program to our Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Wonderful selection of topics. Really enjoyed hearing everybody's point of view about Valentine's Day. Once again, thank you. Let's give you a wave. Hey, thank you, Dennis. All right, next, we shall go for a short rest break, a 10 minutes rest break. So we will count, once you see the timing reach, Uncle Lime will set the timer for it, and we will be back in 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Hey, Gerald, that one is 10 hours.
Huh? 10 hours?
That one is 10 hours, and then you can start.
Okay, go.
Okay, so this is how we do it. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We shall now begin our next segment, which is the speeches. First on our list, we have Lim Chang Jing, who will be presenting from the Dynamic Leadership Evaluation and Feedback. Can I have his project evaluator, Sidambaram Minakshi, to read out the objectives of this project. Hello, Minakshi.
Yeah, hi. Actually, I just know that I'm evaluating, but so I do not have the objective with me. But if I remember correctly, the timing is 5 to 7 minutes.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay.
So and it's the first speech of evaluation and feedback, is it?
Is the first speech present? Yes, it's on. He has to present a speech on any topic, and it's the first speech.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sidambaram. Okay. Okay. Can I have? Let's give a wave to our first speaker for today, Lim Chang Jing, who will be presenting a speech entitled "Live Great." Over to you, Lim Chang Jing.
Testing. Fantastic Friday, Club President, fellow Toastmaster, and distinguished guests. Live great. Today, our meeting theme is Lessons in Love. Raise your hand if you think that relationship is an important factor in your life. Raise your hand if you think that having a good relationship is critical and crucial to wife, partner, children, colleague, or even your friends. Raise your hand if you want to know the secret of having a great relationship and live great. Hi, you are very lucky today. I will share with you the 3 good habits and lessons in love so as to enjoy greater relationship. Tip number 1, be caring, show concern, not crushing. Set ground rules with your partner. It will be very good for conflict management. You need to know your partner better, know what is her strength and her favorite food. For example, if you text your wife on the phone and she don't reply you back immediately, you should know the reason why. Know the insights and behavior of your partner. Always look at the strength of other people, not their weakness. Look at the good side of everything. Stay positive even when you see someone you do not like. When I just got married, I discovered that my wife is a perfectionist and she likes the house to be spick and span. Whenever she sees my desk, which is so untidy and messy, she will shout at me and I will quickly clean up the house. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot just give up on someone because the situation is not ideal. Great relationships are not great because they have no problems. They are great because both people care enough about the other person to find a way to make it work. Tip number 2, ask questions. Don't assume. For my wife and me, both of us grew up in different environments and was brought up differently. My wife has a very strict family, whereas my parents are very lenient on me. We will need to show mutual respect to each other. For example, we agree on what are the roles and responsibilities on our part. I remember on my 2nd year anniversary, I asked my wife, what did she want? She said nothing. So in the end, I didn't buy anything for her and I was being reprimanded. She shouted and cried, "How can you forget such an important occasion?" Then I was so shocked, surprised, stunned. Ladies and gentlemen, from that day onward, I will make sure that I will buy a different gift on the special occasion. For the past 20 years, I've been consistent and even brought her a cake to celebrate with her on her birthday too. Tip number 3, communicate. Connect before you correct. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to give constructive feedback. People stay with you when they feel appreciated. Accept your partner for being who they are. Do not change them or expect them to behave like you do. Every person is unique. Imagine one day your kid come back home after the exam. Do not scold them and say, "Oh gosh, I know that you will flunk the examinations because you didn't study." Instead, connect with your children and say to them, "I know it must be so disappointing to have done so poorly on the test." And then you can instead encourage your kid by saying, "No worries. I believe that you will get better the next time. Let's make a plan and work towards the goal together." Remember, ladies and gentlemen, happy wife, happy life. My wife and I started to communicate more and we share our household chores. For me, I will wash and hang the clothes. Then I will spend hours to iron all my family clothes on a Sunday. Happy wife, happy life. When children feel strongly connected to you, they feel loved, valued, and understood. They are simply more open to your influence. How open are you to that person's influence? On the other hand, how open are you to someone who frequently telling you what to do, how you are wrong, and what you need to change? Together, we can make this world a better place to stay in. Remember my 3 tips, my friends, and I have a love quote specially just for you. Ladies and gentlemen, love is a choice you make every day. Don't be afraid to be the one who loves the most. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Hey, thank you very much, CJ, for your speech. Yes, I do believe everything that we do needs work, including relationships. Thank you for sharing, CJ. Next, we have Sidambram Minakshi, who will be presenting from the advanced project, The Entertaining Speaker. She'll be presenting an entertaining speech which is about 5 to 7 minutes long. Her evaluator will be Lim Chang Jing. Can I have him to read out the objectives of the project? CJ, please.
Okay, the objective is to entertain the audience by relating a personal experience. Second, to organize an entertainment speech for maximum impact. Timing will be 5 to 7 minutes. Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's have Sidambram Minakshi. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, and welcome everyone. Good evening. So, have you ever owned a specs? Or have you had a friend who is wearing a specs? If not, come with me and dive into the story that I'm going to tell you today. Ladies and gentlemen, and the Toastmasters present here and the guest, a warm welcome to the speech where I'm going to share my experience with the specs. So, have you ever thought about how the people wearing specs have coffee? A hot coffee and not the cold one. Can you think of what happens with them? It actually, when the person who is wearing a specs wants to have a coffee, he needs to do a lot of things. First, put his specs down, because otherwise he can't see whatever is there in front of him. The vapor from the coffee would fog and hide the specs entirely, and he won't know what he's going to have. So it's most important that a person who is wearing specs need to do something before having to taste his hot coffee. Starting right from the morning, which is the first thing to have is a coffee, Looking at the sky, at the sun is also a very challenging thing for a person like me who usually wears the specs. Have you ever thought, if I look at the sky up like this, it would be very hot and I can't see the sun. But if I put the sunglasses on, oh no, I can't put it on because I'm already having a specs. So can you even imagine what it takes to go to a 3D movie for people like me with the specs? I go into the movie thinking that, oh my God, I'm going to have a wonderful time. I'm going to enjoy the animated 3D movie. But unfortunately, when I step into the theater, I'm given another pair of specs. If I put it on, I don't know where to fit it properly. To fit it over my specs or take off my specs and put only the 3D glass. If I do that, I can't see the movie. Everything is blurred. If I put the 3D glass over the specs, it feels something weird. I feel that there is a lot of layers between me and the movie screen. Oh no. I am sure you would have heard this story before, where your friend who is wearing a specs would coming along with you for a 3D movie. At the end, I myself, who is wearing the specs, rather than enjoying the movie all the time, figure out what's the right position for the 3D glass. Thinking of another scenario, once in Singapore, I was invited for a hot pot. I am pretty sure everybody had an experience with the hot pot. I didn't know then what it means to be a hot pot. So I went there and I was excited to see that there's a lot of food that is boiling hot in the soup. For your information, I'm vegetarian. So I was trying to get something out of the soup. I tried, but I got something very nice. Unfortunately or fortunately for the others, I have been eating the fish ball instead of the tofu. Without the specs, if I wore the specs, I'm always hidden of what is in front of me because of the vapor. If I put down the specs, all that I have been enjoying is fish ball unknowingly. So there's one more incident that I want to share with you. One time I had to go to this beauty parlor to do my eyebrows. Then the lady said, okay, lady, you have a very nice eyebrow. Let me do it for you. Please take off your specs. I took off and she started doing the eyebrow for me. I was pretty happy that the lady is doing my eyebrows properly. Finally, then the lady asked me, can you look into the mirror and tell me how you feel? I looked into the mirror and I was like, don't know what to say because I can't see my eyebrows properly. If I put on the specs, she might think that I lost my eyesight or I can't even see my eyebrows. So she might think bad of me. So I was hesitant to put on the specs, but still had to say something to her. So I said, yeah, it's very nice. But when I came back home, I realized that she did it wrongly. So with all these incidents, I realized that the specs is being an obstacle to me. So what should I be doing? I should throw the specs away. But if I throw the specs away, what will I see? Nothing. So I was looking out for options. I heard somebody doing LASIK. So I realized, okay, why not me? But the fear of doctors, the fear of nurses, the fear of operation, the fear of injections, the fear of not going to office, the fear of staying at home, the fear of not seeing my mobile for a month stopped me from doing that. But one day, when there was the hot cup of coffee again in front of me, I really wanted to have it hot with the specs, without the specs, and enjoy it. So that day I decided, okay, this is my turn. This is my day. Let me go and do the LASIK. So the decision which I made it and which I did it to overcome my fear had changed my life. So with that, I suggest and request everybody, try and break the obstacle that is in front of you. Fear not. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Hey, thank you very much, Sinambram. Very interesting story about doing about your LASIK surgery. Next, okay, our third speaker for tonight will be Panos. He will be speaking from the Advanced Manual Public Relations. And this will be the first speech from that manual, the Goodwill speech. The timing is 5 to 7 minutes. The timing is 5 to 7 minutes. At the moment, the evaluator for this particular speech is not around. I've requested Aaron Ting to evaluate your speech. Is that okay? Wonderful.
Aaron, can you do your sound check?
Aaron?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Okay, so read the objectives, right?
Yes.
Goodwill speech. So the first objective is to prepare a talk that will build goodwill for your organization by supplying useful information of interest to the audience. And the second is to favorably influence the audience by skillful and friendly delivery of your talk. And you have 5 to 7 minutes to deliver your speech. All the best.
Thank you very much, Aaron. And now let me introduce Panos Corelius, who will be with his speech entitled "Speak to Win Hearts." Over to you, Panos.
Our story begins a long time ago on a random Monday evening and at a place far away called Zurich in a country called Switzerland. Fellow Toastmasters, Toastmaster of the evening, once upon a time, a little boy called Panos was making some first steps to go attend a meeting as a guest. You might have guessed that this was a Toastmasters meeting. And Panos was walking on the street being a little bit hesitant because he was experiencing this combination of having high expectations without having a single clue of what he was expecting. So that evening, on that random Monday, Panos walked into a room and he was amazed to see how many people there were and how coordinated they were, like busy bees going around setting up everything. So everybody seemed to know exactly what they were doing, except Panos. So he sat very quietly. But all of a sudden, somebody came right in front of him and introduced himself as the VP of membership. And Panos was like, uh-huh. And there was a question. How did you hear about us? What brings you here tonight? So then Panos said that just 2 days ago, he had been at an event. And in this particular event, every single person that made an impression on him as a speaker turned out to be a Toastmaster. So that explained why 2 days later, Panos was making his first steps as a guest. That evening, I lost my heart to Toastmasters. I saw people that I had never seen before touch me through their speaking in ways that I have come to consider dear to my heart ever since. It was the first time that I had the pleasure to witness speakers that would integrate the head, the heart, and the hands on stage. That I would experience a message that I could connect to intellectually, observe embodied on the stage, but what is most important, I would feel pulled towards the speaker and their message right from here, of the head, the hands, and the heart, working in sync. Then I could also see the thread that the speakers were pulling me with. There was a gentle thread called humor. All these parts were tied together with a gentle touch that we've come to understand as being humorous. And to humorize means to humanize. So in a way, one of the most enlightening experiences as a human being and communicator at the same time was one of the most joyful experiences of my life, because it opened up my head, my heart, and my hands into what is possible. Fellow Toastmasters and friends, be inspired to lose your hearts to Toastmasters and be courageous enough to take the stage and speak to win hearts. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Panos. Yes, my wife thinks I've lost my heart to the Toastmasters. I can totally empathize with that. Wonderful. Let's move on to our next speaker for tonight. Let me get the project objectives. Give me a moment. Boy. Okay, I've kind of lost myself within the whole thing. Today is where do we need to the Toastmasters? Okay, really? Just give me a moment, please. Okay,
Alicia can go first.
Okay, Alicia will be the next one. Alicia's, Willie, would you be able to just take over for a short while? Hello, Willie.
Sure. Anand, what's the issue?
Okay, I can't seem to find the program sheet. I kind of lost it.
Wait. Okay, Alicia is doing resources for entertainment.
Resources from entertainment. Who's an evaluator?
Evaluator need to assign.
The evaluator I need to assign. Huh?
Mm.
Okay, I think the evaluator will be Panos, if I'm not mistaken.
My
Can-
speech, sorry, my speech is on specialty.
Specialty. Oh, specialty speech. You registered as entertaining speech. I don't know how come you go out of the way. So yours is specialty speech 8, 9, 10. Correct? Okay.
Okay.
Good. I will reset the timer.
Okay, so can I have Panos to evaluate her speech? Yes, Panos. Oh, how about? Okay, sorry. Will you be able to evaluate Alicia's speech?
Okay, let me grab someone who do not have anything.
Okay. Tell us. Okay, Pallavi is online.
Yes.
Maybe we can get her to evaluate.
I don't know whether Suzanne can help out with the evaluation. Toastmaster Suzanne? Or Toastmaster?
I can help out. It's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, just,
right?
but I need the objective, the evaluation sheet, if you can send to me.
Wait, let me pull out for you. Wait. Wait,
Or maybe Alicia, do you have the?
Do you have the objectives, Alicia?
Reaching, I will send to you. Wait, come to you. Give you the link. You can see the objectives already.
Mine is an uplifting speech.
Uplift the speech, right? 8 to 10, right?
Yes.
Correct, right? Okay, wait. Reaching, you received the link from me?
I see the link from.
Download, just open the PDF file. Open the PDF.
Okay, I open it. So this is the
Second one, second speech.
second. So it's a specialty speech, right? Assignment 2.
Correct.
Okay, objective. Identify and understand the basic differences and similarities between inspirational speeches and other kinds of speeches. Learn how to evaluate audience feeling and establish emotional rapport. Develop a speech style and deliver that effectively express inspirational content by moving the audience to adopt your views. Time 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay, detailed project objective is for you already in the link also, the second link. Just send to you. Just podcast in the chat.
Okay. Thank you very much, Uncle Lime. Okay, so our next speaker is Alicia Chia. Over to you, Alicia.
Okay, my title is Don't Shrink Your Dreams, Supersize Your Courage and Abilities. Dream, 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 dream. A fabulous Friday to club president, members and guests. Have you ever had a dream? My dream is to be an international speaker. But however, in this era of trade wars, natural disasters, such as the bushfires in Australia, earthquakes, and recently the onset of infectious diseases like the coronavirus, we will all experience the gamut of emotions such as fear, anxiety, confusion, worry, bewilderment, anger, desperation, and uncertainty. Now, all these fears may make you shrink your dreams. And you give us some false thinking, such as you may think it's too late to follow your dreams. It's never too late to follow your dreams, unless you have died. Then it's really too late. There are many examples of people who have followed their dreams and succeeded when they're very old, such as Grandma Moses, Kenny Rogers, Dr. Norman Vincent Pillay, Eleanor Roosevelt, Morgan Freeman, and Albert Einstein. Sometimes we also think that we need only peak conditioning, physical conditioning, then we can follow our dream. However, our physical conditioning may not be at the peak. In fact, sometimes it may be at the bottom, such as during this time when it's coronavirus, everybody's feeling a bit sick. So what should we do? We can fit our physical conditions by lowering the standard or setting a new standard according to your age or physical ability. Then sometimes people think that, oh, it's gone already. My era is gone. So yesterday is more important than today. But they are wrong again. Yesterday is not important and less important has it already passed. And you can't make changes. In fact, that was then and this is now. We just need to honor the past. And the question is how to honor it and focus on the present. Another major false thinking that people have about their dreams is that they will say, don't have enough money. Having enough money is the most important element. But that is also another false thinking. There is no lack of money in the whole universe. All you need to do is open your eyes and look for the money. In fact, in Singapore, such a small country is even easier. Now, with all this gamut of emotions, especially fear, will lead to procrastination. And as we know, procrastination is a very bad habit that practically freezes a person. Inevitably, if we do not get rid of procrastination, it will eventually lead to regrets. As I mentioned, procrastination is a bad habit, and we do have some ways to break procrastination. You can make a commitment to act now. When people tell you something about certain event, decide now that you want to join. Next, you can assign dates to your activities. For instance, I've already keyed in all my running and cycling races in my handphone. So it prompts me whenever a race is due to start. The other thing you could do is remove the words like later and tomorrow from your vocabulary. I had this bad habit that whenever my mom asked me to clean up my room, I'll say, I'll do it another day. Tomorrow can or not? No. Now I practice, I'll do it now. You can also make daily lists and cross off items off as they are completed. Then make no promises that you can't keep. And when there are opportunities, seize them as they present themselves. If you procrastinate and wait, the opportunity will just go off, disappear. Avoid people who aid you in procrastinating. They will take you off course. And whenever you do something well or you finish a task, reward yourself. So in this way, you will be able to break the habit of procrastination. And when you're able to break the habit of procrastination, you won't live a life of regret. Instead, you will open up hope for yourself. Now, I'd like to ask everyone to ask yourself, if you were to pursue your dream, what are your fears? What are you afraid of? Then choose to face everything and rise. Now, this is the time to supercharge your courage. You are born to succeed and not born to lose. In fact, we have this ability to turn our dreams into reality. It's all within us. And make no doubts, there is nothing enlightening by shrinking your dream to make other people feel more secure about you. Go ahead. Let your own light shine. In fact, you can choose to magnify your weakness or your strengths. Remember, no one is perfect. Accept your perceived imperfections and change your self-image. Don't focus on who you are now, but rather focus on who you will become. The only person who can limit your possibilities is you. When you begin to change, you begin to focus on your abilities. Just like Susan Boyle, when she sang "I Dreamed a Dream" at the Britain's Got Talent. Back then, she was a 47-year-old lady, broke and ungroomed. But she had one ability. She could sing very well. She mesmerized the judges, and now you can see her whole life has changed. In fact, think how you can contribute to living your dream. Go make a difference to your family, to your workplace, and to the world. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, Alicia, for your speech. Yes, I'm always looking. I'm sure we all always looking forward to making a difference in this world. And your speech just reminded us of it. Thank you very much. Our next speaker for tonight will be Peter Ng. He'll be presenting an advanced speech speaking to inform Project 5, the abstract concept. His evaluator for tonight will be Alicia. Can I have Alicia to read the objectives of this speech?
Okay, what is the speech?
Okay, the speech is speaking to inform Project 5, the abstract concept.
Give me a minute.
Okay. To our timer, the timing is 6 to 8 minutes.
Speaking to inform the abstract concept.
6 to 8, is it? Confirm,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I don't have the... just give me a minute. Sorry, just give me a minute.
Okay, sure.
Sending file across. Wait. Download from the link.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Wow. Our Uncle Lim, very resourceful.
Very
Thanks.
fast.
Yeah, very fast too. Okay, good to go. Peter, are you good to go?
Open the
Okay.
file.
Okay, just let Alicia read out the project objectives.
Am I supposed to give it to her, to Alicia?
She already has it.
Okay.
She already has it.
You have my introduction, Anand?
No.
It's on the program sheet. You can't find your program sheet now, is it?
Yes, I can't find it. I can only see the title, Why Me Worry?
Let me see if I can copy it for you.
Okay.
It's also truncated. The program sheet did print on the full introduction. Next time I'll just type for you in the beginning of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
Hold on.
What?
Okay, all right.
Okay, are you good to go, Alicia?
Who is the speaker? Sorry.
The speaker is Peter Ng.
Okay.
His speech title is that W. What? Why we worry? WW, why we worry? Interesting title. Okay, over to you, Peter.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. Are you reading me loud and clear? If you are, thumbs up, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, recently, our Singapore government has raised the level of emergency or disease operation response system level condition, right, to orange, right? And as a result, we see a lot of worry in the market. And you know what happened. I don't have to describe that, but since I have it here, I'm going to show it to you. People rush for all kinds of things like a face mask. Well, I hope you've gotten one if those of you have gone to the supermarket. And interestingly, folks also rush for things like that. Yeah. Such that the whole supermarket has gone out of stock of that. Now, as I found out later from folks who rush for toilet paper, it seems like there was a rumor going on that the people who makes the mask, the face mask, are very likely the same people who makes the toilet roll. As a result of that, folks rush for the toilet roll. That helps me ponder about the next title, which is today's title, the topic of why human beings worry. You know, if it's not because of worry, if it's not because of anxiety, if it's not because of stress, nobody would rush to the supermarket and grab hold of tons and tons of toilet papers and sanitizers and alcohol just to be safe, just to feel safe. So now I'm going to switch to my slides. Just give me a moment and share with you a little bit of, okay, I'll do something even faster that we don't have to switch slides. Now, why we worry? Some of you who have gone through your biology class was probably aware or familiar with this diagram here, right? This part of our brain. There's a little pea size or almost the size of your eardrum part of your brain called amygdala. Amygdala is incidentally also the name of our famous Star Wars character, Princess Amidala. Right. It is located at the temporal lobe of your brain, quite close to the eardrum. This little part of the brain is how we as human beings, how it helps us become aware of danger, aware of the fear that is in us and also in others around us. So it is almost like, if I were to put it in modern terms, an AI function of our brain. Yeah, it's able to detect our internal fear and the fear surrounding us. It is also part of the brain called the limbic part of the brain, which, you know, if I were to now create some sound like this, if you listen, if I continue to create this and start talking to you, your brain is no longer focused on your speech, but on the sound that's in the background. Because the limbic part of the brain is always looking out for danger, causing, well, from my research on the internet, causing the worry in us, the stress in us, the anxiety in us. So why do we even have to worry? Because I believe from the days where we were cavemen, we were all born to survive the environment, survive in the sense of, you know, the hierarchy of needs. And in these modern days, is there still a need for us to worry like that? You know, in the few earlier speakers, you have heard them speaking about, you know, the coronavirus and their concern over their life. And the speaker before me was concerned over the lifestyle, you know, not allowing her lifestyle to be changed as a matter of worry, anxiety, and stress. So it boils down to, when I really look at how we can avoid worrying and start living, it all boils down to humans' fear of dying. As we all sit in front of this screen talking to each other, we are already attempting a feat that is as close to death as most of us, when we are new speakers, knows it. The very first time we attempt to speak in public, it's almost as though our heartbeat is going so fast, it's gonna pop up from your mouth, and you know, you probably stand there dead, looking at the audience. But as time goes by, we realize that dying is not as fearful. So long as we know where were we before we die, or where were we going after we die. It's a concept that is not easy to grasp hold of, which is why I believe a lot of us folks have a special place that we go to. I think Steve Jobs put it out best in the way he described it, in the way he described death. You know, everybody wants to go to heaven, or in some of your case, nirvana, paradise, yeah. But nobody wants to die to go there, because the concept of death is an unknown. You know, where are you? Where's your body? Where's your soul? You know, nobody has died and come back and tell us, you know, they've gone through this path. Well, at least nobody in my life, nobody in my family tree has died and come back and tell us, oh, this is the path we've gone through. You know, you see a tunnel of vision, and then suddenly a bright light, and there you go. You are in nirvana, you're in paradise. Hey, that's happy. You know, that you party. So it is always an unknown. As human beings are afraid of unknown, that's why it causes worry. So what are the ways that we can overcome this? Very quickly, in my last 1 minute, I'm going to tell you, in order to stop worrying, we have to kick whatever addiction that we have. If we're addicted to life, because we love life so much that we are so fearful of the death, it becomes an unknown factor, and it becomes our, well, it becomes a hurdle that trips us. Now, be mindful of our body and accept whatever worry there's in our life. Write down all those worries on the list, and you know, spend time knowing what are these worries. As we know what are these worries, we get better in managing this worry, because it becomes a known factor. And because this is 2 more seconds left, I got to wrap it up and say, Well, meditate, exercise a lot, get your heart pumping, and get yourself busy. Knowing where you are and where you're going will help you stop worrying about your life and start living. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have for you tonight. Bye.
Hey, thank you very much, Peter. Our next speaker will be Pallavi. She'll be evaluated by Panos. Can I have Panos to read the objectives of her speech?
With great pleasure. Good evening. Pallavi's speech objectives tonight from the second project of the Entertaining Speaker Advanced Manual following the Legacy Education Program is the project is called Resources for Entertainment. So the objectives are to draw entertaining material from sources other than your own personal experience, adapt your material to suit your topic, your own personality, and the audience. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much. Her speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Pallavi, you're good to go?
Yes, Anand. Just let me cross-check. Like, am I audible enough?
Yes, you're good. I can hear you.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Over to you, Pallavi.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Good evening to fellow Toastmasters from across the world. And I think today I've taken in my hand one of the most difficult tasks to present an entertaining speech. But yes, to start off, I would say entertaining is somewhat quite difficult as compared to when we talk anything. But I would say yes, I will never give up because I have that grit to struggle through to make my way. And for that, I would like to give you people two options. You have an option to select option 1 or option 2. So can you just speak out which option do you want? Okay, Alicia. Okay, Alicia, Wailing, they are saying 1. Anyone opting for option 2?
Yes. Important before you go.
Sorry? Okay, then I take it as option 1. Even if someone would have opted for option 2, I would say, sorry, today I'll be choosing and I'll be giving none of them because option 1 and option 2 are the same options. So today over here, I disclose the topic of my speech, that is feed or fish. To start off, I think all of you might have heard about a Chinese proverb which goes like this: give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Now, all of us in our everyday to-day life are playing a role of leader. We are leading someone or other knowingly or unknowingly. For example, if I'm mother, I'm leading the house. I'm leading my children. If I'm a teacher, I'm no doubt leading my students. If we are in office, we are leading a set of employees underneath us, and somewhere we are being led by someone who is superior to us. So the question over here comes is, how should we lead and what kind of leader do we all want to be? Whether we should be a leader who feeds something or whether we should be a leader who teaches the persons underneath us who look upon us to how to fish. Now over here today, being the leader of the speech, I gave you people two options. But later on, I decided that no, I cannot allow my audience today to fish and go through the struggle. The best part would be that I feed you all what I want to speak. So here is the story that I want to share with all of you. Long time back, a person was passing by a garden and he saw a butterfly garden next to his own garden. So when he was passing by, his eye caught hold of a cocoon, the pupa. And as all of us know that butterfly has a life cycle which starts from egg, the egg hatches into a caterpillar, the caterpillar molds, and then it undergoes into a process of called as pupae in which it transforms. Now we say that where the life of a caterpillar ends, the life of a butterfly starts. So it goes into the entire transformation process. And meanwhile, when it has to come into the beautiful world to see the beauty of the world around, plus enhance the world's beauty by its own beauty, it has to push itself out of the cocoon. Now, that person who was passing by the cocoon, he noticed that the butterfly was struggling to come out of the cocoon. He stood there for hours and hours to see how does the butterfly come out of the cocoon. And he was being impatient to see that despite of so much of struggle, the butterfly was unable to make out its way from the cocoon. At the moment, he was so much compelled that he thought, let me bring a scissor and snip it up and let the butterfly come out. But he said, okay, no, let the butterfly take its effort, take its time. So he went off to do his gardening work. And after an hour, when he was returning, he again saw the butterfly still struggling and not yet out from the cocoon. So this time he said, I can't take it anymore. I can't see the butterfly struggling to come into the world and spread its wing. So he quickly brought a scissor and he snipped the cocoon. Plop came out the butterfly, but unfortunately the butterfly couldn't fly. Then after a lot of study, he figured out that the struggle that the butterfly goes through in coming out of the cocoon helps to push the juices into the wings, which helps the wings to open wide apart. And that is when the birth of a beautiful butterfly into this world comes. So my dear friends, what I want to share with this story today is that in every day of our life, every moment we see various scenarios where we need to decide what kind of leader are we. Are we the kind of leader this particular man was, who couldn't wait to see the struggle and to see the beauty that the struggle would have led to? Or we want to come up with an instant gratification or an instant result, which is quick enough, but it's not long lasting. It's not that great. To sum up, I would like to say, if you see any great personality in the world, even if you see Donald Trump for an example, he has definitely gone through his own struggles. Dealing with the bites from every people every now and then for whatever he does is not an easy task. It requires a lot of grit. It requires a lot of never giving up attitude. It requires a lot of feed and fish balance, where the person has to decide that what I have to take a call. What is my struggle? What is my dream? And if the dream is really worthy enough, it is necessary for us to go through that particular struggle. I would just summarize this thing with a small example. The biggest animal of the jungle is what? Elephant. The tallest animal of the jungle is what? The giraffe. The fastest animal of the jungle is who? The cheetah. And the wisest animal of the jungle is fox. But none of them are the leaders of the jungle. The leader of the jungle is lion, who does not possess any one of them. So being a leader, you need to be fast, you need to be unstoppable, you need to have the faith in the person whom you lead. And then you need to decide when do you need to act and when do you need to stop. So over to all of you to decide when to feed and when to fish. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you very much, Pallavi, for your speech. It was really entertaining. Our last speaker for tonight, or for today's meeting, is Hiren. His evaluator is Peter. Can I have Peter to read out the objectives of Hiren's speech?
Peter, I've just mailed you my evaluation sheet and objectives. I think there's some mistake in the easy speak. So if you can just access your mail, everything is there in your inbox.
You talking to me?
Yes.
Yes, Peter.
It's in the chat or in my email?
The objective is in the email. So objective as well as my evaluation sheet. If you want, I can flash it up in the chat as well, whatever you may need.
Okay, you give me one quick moment. Let me just quickly check my email right now.
No, so the faster would be, it's there in your chat. So if you just text it in your chat, so if you want to read it out.
I just opened my chat. You just send it to me personally or send it?
No, I've sent it to you personally.
Okay, got it. So I'm going to read it to you. The objective of Hiran's speech is prepare a demonstration, clearly explain a process, product, or activity, conduct the demonstration as part of a speech, delivering without notes, and your time is 5 to 7 minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Peter. Okay, over to you, Hiran.
All right, so let me begin, and before I, yes. So just a quick show of hands. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
All right, brilliant. Okay, so Toastmaster of the evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guest. I would start with an apology note. I was with my boss this afternoon and had to join in late. So just rushed about 10 minutes ago and then directly into my speech. My apologies for entering the meeting late. I would start, my speech is all about demonstration today, and what better theme than the Valentine's Day to talk about this day all about heart. It is Valentine Day, so while it is here afternoon in the UK and the Europe, but I think at your locations it is the end of the day, but still it is the day of the heart, or February is known as the Heart Month. And what better day than to talk about heart than on a Valentine Day. So my speech is all going to be about heart, and for the next 5 to 7 minutes, you're going to look at everything to do with this lovely little beating thing that is beating since the day we were born. And we all want it to be always beating and young as well. That's why the terminology that we use is being young at heart. So no matter how old you would get, no matter you start losing the hair, no matter it starts graying, but you know, it is this heart that needs to stay young. And on this Valentine Day, I take this opportunity to talk about heart and only heart for the next 5 to 7 minutes. Just to give a very basic, how big is it? How big is the heart? Now, I was doing a lot of research, and the best definition of how big is your heart is the example that if you were to hold your partner's hand and just join hands with your partner, I think your size of the heart is just that much. And that's the apt definition today on a Valentine's Day, where you would hold the hand or the palm to palm of your partner, and that is the size of the heart. And this is that keeps beating all throughout. Now, having discussed that, let me demonstrate in terms of you know, what is it that we talk about when we talk about you know, heart. And let me just take you quickly through a quick demo of what do we call, or why is this heart important. So what I have here in front of me, and if you can see my screen clearly, is the heart. Yeah, so what you can see here is the heart, and what you see here is the heart with 2 arrow keys. Let me just take a moment to just remove the virtual background, which is creating a problem. And hopefully, just 1 minute. All right. So what we have here is a heart, and as a demonstration, what I have with me is the two arteries in the heart. Now, what I'm going to do is that I have a demonstration to show. So I have a heart and I have two arteries, and consider this to be the blood. Now, once I pour the water to the arteries, you can see that the water is seeping in seamlessly. Yeah, that means that your arteries are very, very clear. But on the other side, you have an artery which is choked. Now, when I say choked, meaning it could be the cholesterol issue, it could be the blockage issue, etc. And what happens is that when you pour, no water or very less water is boiling out as compared to the other artery which is clear. Now, this causes a heart attack or the problem in the heart. And why does this choking? So if you see clearly that there are two nozzles, and one is absolutely clear, whereas the other one is choked. Now this causes because of excess of cholesterol, excess of hypertension, etc., etc. So how do you take care of this, or what is the remedial measure that you need to do? Is simple. Just follow these 5 simple techniques: exercise, cutting of tobacco or smoking, 30 minutes of exercise for those who stay in HDBs and condos. Why not take up stairs? Or why not, when you walk up to the MRT, why shun the escalator? Take the stairs or start climbing the escalator rather than just standing stagnantly. That will also give you a good exercise. Cutting of blood sugar, absolutely important and very, very relevant. And having a very healthy and a balanced diet. If you just do these simple things, you know, it will assure that your heart will be beating and it will stay healthy always as you would like it. So the objective of this speech is not to be complicated, but to show you in demand how can you keep your heart healthy. And if you keep your heart healthy, you can keep this little brain active, alive and engaging, which helps us a happy living being. So today is all about understanding that and keeping your heart healthy and strong by these simple things of climbing stairs, going for a walk. Just those 5,000 steps can make a big difference. However, as I said, today's day is not about giving you a lecture on exercising, but today's day is all about bringing that life and telling your partner that I love you, my heart is always beating to you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Herin. Wonderful way to end your speech. All right, let's unshare this screen. Okay. All right, now we have come to the end of our speaking segments. We shall go to our Uncle Lime. Can we?
One more speaker.
One more speaker. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Angela, you are next. Okay. Angela will be speaking from the Successful Club series, Creating the Best Club Climate. Her time will be 10 to 15 minutes. Angela, all yours. Okay, Angela, we can't hear your voice. Okay, something is happening.
Angela, what's your issue, Angela?
I'm not muted.
Oh,
You muted me.
All right, you are there. Okay, wonderful. You're good to go, Angela.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My topic is creating the best club climate. The question is, how can you create the best club climate? Now, what I want you to do is to be thinking all the time about the model club. And I have here a checklist, and I wonder if you can see it well enough to take a photograph of it. Seems to be back to front. So perhaps I can read it to you. Ask yourself this about your club. Are your club meetings well organized? I want you to take a piece of paper and make some notes to put a tick or a cross and any comment you like. So the first section is on club meetings, then on the members, then the guests, then what the club does, and then the club officers. It's quite a long checklist. Number 1, the club meetings, and there are 5 questions. Is your club well organized? Is it productive? Does it run on time? Am I going too fast for you? Can I have a few waves? Okay. Are you focused on your members' educational goals? And have you planned exciting themes and thought-provoking table topics? So that is the first set of questions. The second set of questions is, what do the members receive? And I've got 3 questions for you. Do they get supportive, effective evaluations based on their project objectives and their individual learning needs? Now, it's quite easy to give an evaluation on the project objectives, but forget what the speaker wants to do. And one of the tricks when you're evaluating is get the evaluator and the speaker together in advance. And the best way is to send the evaluator the project and the phone number of the person so that they can chat to each other. And the evaluator should be running through the topic. Sometimes the mentor and the evaluator are the same person, and there is great debates about whether that's a good idea, because you might argue that the evaluator ought to come to the project completely afresh, and the mentor should be getting the speeches to be as good as it can be, and somebody else should come in to judge whether it is. Now, we had somebody earlier this evening talking about the fact, I think it was Willie, saying that he evaluates based on the project objectives. Very often you'll find that the more advanced speakers, and sometimes the beginners, decide they want to talk about a certain subject. It might be a topical subject, or what they just fancy, or what they're doing at work tomorrow. And then they try and make it fit the project instead of starting with what's the project aim. So the project's aim might be to teach you your learning style, and they might decide what they want to talk about is crochet. And then they try and fit crochet to your learning style, and somehow it doesn't quite work. So those are 2 separate factors that you have to consider. Are you giving evaluations based on the project objectives, and are you giving evaluations based on the person's learning needs? So give yourself a tick for one or both of those. Then you've got the reminders of the upcoming meetings sent out a week in advance. Well, now we're going to look at some slides and consider what happens in a meeting. First of all, first impressions count. These slides are running a bit fast. The first impression is that you set up your meeting and you arrive prepared, and you offer assistance to anybody who needs it, and you do volunteering and you offer support. Now, what I think is most useful is those clubs which do an introductory meeting when they get the people who've just joined to say the mission statement and then to say, give their promise that they will turn up regularly to meetings. One thing which is awkward is when people want to join and they say, oh, I'm not joining because I can't turn up regularly. And then the membership secretary said, oh, never mind. Just come along when you feel like it. You can come along on the Wednesday, not on the Saturday, if that suits you. And then you find, well, the person's joined and they're not fulfilling these objectives. So you have to work out ways you can get them to fulfill it. Now, one of the things that I'm doing in my club, and which I think a lot of people do, is saying to each of the people who are on the committee, are you doing succession planning? Because it's very difficult to come in at the end of the year, at the last meeting, and suddenly say, well, who wants to be the president? Who wants to be the secretary? When they've had no experience of doing it. And frankly, they're scared. They don't want to do it. And one of the ways to organize this is to have two committees, or to have a substitute, a backup committee, or a third way is to make each person in charge of a subcommittee. So instead of having somebody being the VP PR, the PR person, you have the PR person as the head of a team of two, so that there are the three of them. She or he has the ultimate responsibility, but if the person who's in charge of the other two is away on holiday or falls sick, the other two can get together as two buddies and do the job and find out how it's done. And then you should have one of those two keen to take over at the end of the year. So that is my favorite ideal. This requires starting off with several people. So volunteering is volunteering to do things. The other thing I've heard is that when the meeting starts and you're planning certain things like putting up decorations, who volunteers to put up the decorations? Now, usually I look at the person who immediately steps forward and says, I'll do it. I think that person's going to be on the committee. They're the person who wants to get something done. They are responsible. But there's another view. The other view is that people don't want to do things until they're asked. And there's a famous quotation from Benjamin Franklin. He says that if you've helped somebody, you think they're your friend, which is an odd way of looking at things to my mind. But the idea is that if you've got someone to take part in the meeting just by handing out the evaluation sheets or handing out the voting slips, they immediately feel involved and they're more likely to become a member. So it's very important, the arrival preparation, offering assistance, volunteering, and supporting everybody. And one thing that used to be done in the days of the old manual was to have all the evaluation forms printed out. So if somebody turned up without them, you'd got them, because the VPE, or the person in charge of the printing, always has everything. And one of the things that I'm planning, for example, when I go to my meeting, I've always got my timer ready, so that if the cupboard is locked, I've got the timer ready. So first impressions. Greeting guests. At one of the clubs I belong to, we have a meter and greeter. That's a person who sits at the desk or stands by the desk and gives everybody a badge. And people say to me, oh, we don't have badges. And other people say, oh, we don't want badges. But badges are terribly important because, first of all, they enable you to tell the visitor, I'm the president, so they know who's the important person. And then the other thing is for you to know who the visitor is, so that if you are the topics master, you can call them up and say, call them up by name. Instead of saying, oh, you in the red dress, would you like to speak? You can say, Susan, would you like to speak? Or somebody could say, Susan, 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 come along, Susan. and encourage them. The other thing that you can do is when you're greeting the guests is to ask them what their hobbies are or if they live nearby. And then if you hand the list to the topics master and you say to them, oh, Susan lives in such and such and such an area and her hobbies are golfing. And so you can raise a question. The topics master might say, and who's interested in golfing? And supposing it's Valentine's Day, you might say, who thinks golfing is a great thing for Valentine's Day? Susan! And then Susan immediately has given a topic she likes. Now, show you care, be a mentor. Being a mentor is very important for holding on to the members you might lose. They've completed their manual, they've completed their exercise, they've done their 5 projects or whatever they thought they had to do, and now they've done it, they think they've finished with Toastmasters, they can leave. But if they're a mentor and they've got to come along to hear their mentee's speech, or 3 speeches or 3 projects, then they're going to stick around because they've got to encourage their mentee and they feel that they are wanted. Show an interest in others. One thing you can do is just email each other, WhatsApp each other, meet up for coffee in between meetings. Be considerate and evaluate effectively, which means always giving useful suggestions. So that's all about caring for the members. Now, recognizing achievements, what can you do? There are, in Toastmasters, we have specific things we give, such as pins and certificates. I had one member who wanted a typed out letter of appreciation to put in a book he was taking for a job interview to show someone that he'd been a Toastmaster and or been a test speaker. And he wanted that within 24 hours. So he wanted email so that he could print it off. So that is the sort of thing you can do, which is not written in the manual, but it's something you can do extra. Finally, foster camaraderie. Just be nice to people, be friendly, stay around, talk to them afterwards, go for coffee. So to sum it up, be a mentor, be considerate. And now look at your checklist, and I'll go through the last questions on the checklist. And this is how you keep your club thriving. So finally, guests, are they welcomed? Are they told about the meeting, the club and Toastmasters? Do you ask them to return? Do you ask them to join? Or do you expect them to take the initiative? Do you ask them for comments on the meeting? These are things we take for granted, but sometimes the meeting is rushed and you don't have time. Do you use the Distinguished Club program? And do you present it to members? Do you recognize the member achievements? Do you provide a printed meeting agenda? This is something people tend to drop. I have a feeling you should have one that you can pass around, even if it's all online, because a member comes along, they're not in the chat group, they haven't got it, they're just confused. And the other thing is, if you're starting late or if the members arrived early, you can give it to them to look at. Orient new members. Do you do that? Do you vote them in? Do you have a membership building program? Do you have an organized meeting space? Do you have a guest book? And is it ready to sign at the beginning of the meeting? It could be on your welcome table. Do you have a system, a protocol? And do you tell new members what it is? For example, my club has potluck food as well as a little food provided by the club. Do you tell them in advance? I've been to 2 clubs where I turned up at a Christmas party and didn't know they'd got Secret Santas, so I hadn't brought anything. And I wasn't the only one, there were 2 or 3 people who said the same. So make sure that people know in advance what's going to happen. Then the training. Do you go to the club office for training? Let everybody know when it's going to happen. And when they say they're going to be taking a role, tell them that's one of the things that will be really helpful for them. And not only is it helpful in their role, it's a way of networking. So I would say the last 5 things are, do you meet at least monthly? I think most clubs do. But if you miss for anything like Christmas, you've got to find some way of making sure you keep up. And we've got the problem now with the coronavirus. So what we're all doing is considering making online meetings or having some people meeting at the club and others online. And this is one thing that this whole thing we're doing today is so important for, is to help other people who either want to go completely online or who want to have the 1 or 2 meetings where they're meeting online. So all these are things you can do to make your club thrive. Any questions?
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Questions, or have we finished?
Yes. I think you already finished. The time is already up. But I'd like to open up to everybody to give some feedback on Angela's speech on the successful club series, creating the best club environment or climate. So anybody has any sharing you can give to Angela?
Yeah, I'd like to know on the online club, how do you keep the guests warm and welcome them in the online club? Because you don't really have a way to greet them like personally in like the walk-in club. So I don't know if you have any idea how should we keep them from coming with, member, keep them more active.
Right, I have 3 suggestions. One is you can have a Facebook page in which you can speak to them in advance so that you ask all the people who are coming to the club to say what they're doing. I feel that it would be helpful to have your agenda on the Facebook page so that people know what to expect, because I started today and I thought I'd been dropped off the program, and here I am all of a sudden finding I'm there. The speeches are all finished and I'm an educational and I'm suddenly thrown in. So I was surprised by that. And I think a lot of people were surprised when I appeared at the end. So that's my view, is to have a Facebook page with something on it. Secondly, I think we should do what we do at the regular meeting, which is run through the entire program, say who's doing what. And then if you have to change it, then halfway through you say, well, so-and-so hasn't turned up, or so-and-so, and usually you don't admit that. You say something like, so-and-so was unavoidably detained, so we're doing something else instead. And do what we did today, which is go round with the introductions to everybody, which I thought was very good. So Facebook and the introductions, and there are also the chat. You can have the chat going for 10 minutes before you start. I think most people know about the chat, but you just explain it to them.
Thank you very much for your suggestion.
If you have any more questions, email them to me and Willie will put you in touch.
Okay. If no one has anybody else has anything to feedback to Angela? Yes, Panos?
Are we giving feedback of like a speech evaluation or a question for the presentation, and the evaluation comes later?
I think we'll probably keep the evaluation later. But if you have any questions for her?
Well, I do have a question, so I wanted to make sure I refer to the right thing, thing in my mind. So Angela, thank you very much for this presentation. This comes to complete a set of other presentations focusing on individual aspects of club quality, and I think it's ever so important to keep quality in our mind in everything we do, and particularly Toastmasters meetings. So thank you for that. My question to you is, it has to do with the word thriving. And this is something that I see some clubs do and some others struggling to do, or in other words, fail repeatedly at doing. And I would like your input as to what would be maybe like 3 key aspects that you would pinpoint as an area director when visiting a club, that you know from experience, if a club is not thriving, it's very likely that it's like A or B or C. Does this question make sense?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thriving is where I first came across when I had a baby, and thriving meant growing. And the club has to grow, because if it's not growing, some people are going to drop out, whether you like it or not. So you've got to have an eye on how you're going to grow and get new people. And I've met lots of clubs where people said, I don't want more people. I like it the way it is, but we don't want newcomers. Too many people, we won't get speaking slots. They don't actually want to thrive and grow. They want to stay the same. So you've got to find some way of getting them along to the club officer training, because I just heard of a club which became distinguished, and they said that it was because they were inspired by the club officer training, which shows how important it is, because it got them to think about it. And I almost feel that you should have a review by somebody from higher up in Toastmasters to run through a kind of annual report and offer help and say, or maybe a 6-monthly report, not just do an area director's report, but report back to them and say, this is what we found, and these are our suggestions for how you could improve. Because I don't think people really look at the area director's report, and if they do, they might feel hurt or upset that they haven't achieved things. So there must be some way of giving people feedback from this area director's report to say, are you growing? Because if you're growing, you're thriving. And if you're thriving, everyone says, oh, it's a great club. And don't you want people to say, you've got the best club. It's a wonderful club. I want to go back there. You must go to that club. They've got things to teach us. Why are they so successful? We should match up the successful clubs with the unsuccessful clubs, not wait for them to collapse. Match them up all the time. Match up your best club with your worst club, like you do in the old schools. That's my view.
All right. Thank you very much. I hope that answers your question, Panos. Okay, we have come to the end of the speaking segment. Can we have the timers report, or can we go straight to the polls?
We broadcast the timer report already in the chat.
Okay.
Yes.
So, can we go to the voting now? Yes.
Voting by Willie?
By Willie.
Willie had to set up the poll. Only the host can do it.
Oh, only the host can do it.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, how come
Hey,
sharing
are
poll
we,
result?
am I,
No,
did I
no,
do anything?
no, he shared wrongly. Hey, really, what's wrong with the poll? Okay, now correct.
Okay.
Please cast your votes. Shanshan, timer standby, take over.
Now?
I mean, after my countdown timer lah.
I thought there's a break, no?
There's a
Yeah,
10-minute break.
there's a
10
10-minute break.
which I will show my
Okay.
timer. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so 12 out of 17. How about the rest? Can you just quickly clock in your...
I will avoid voting because I just came in.
Okay, understand. How about the rest? Okay, we've got another 3 more, or rather 2 more. Okay, love your close. 8 and 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, let's end the polling, and we shall go for a short 10-minute break. We'll see you soon.
Really pause recording. Co-host Dennis, can you help to pause the recording?
Pause the recording. Oh, are we all good to go? All right, wonderful. Okay, are we all good to go? Right, everybody's okay? Good?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay.
We're
Our,
all evaluation right now.
yes. Okay, before we start our evaluation, I'd like to congratulate our speaker. Our best speaker for today is none other than Panos. So let's give him a big wave. Yay! Okay. All right. Next, let's move on to the evaluation of the prepared speeches. Our first evaluator for today will be evaluating CJ's speech. Let's give a wave to Sidambaram Minakshi. All right, all yours.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Today I will be evaluating CJ's speech, the evaluation and feedback speech number 1. First, I will be giving you what are the things that you have excelled at, followed by the things that you have to improve on. So the first thing that impressed me is the one that you started with a question as an interaction with the audience. So everybody started thinking what to answer to that question. Even if not the answer, they really was impressed by the sequences of questions that you asked. Not just one, you asked at least 4 questions. So that made me think and that made me pull into your speech. Your tone was very clear and audible. There were enough pauses. The modulation was very good, especially when you narrated that it is your kid, and then sometimes when you talk to your wife, the modulations were done in a manner that I could understand that there's another party involved in your drama. You had a smiling face all through the speech, even though it's an online meeting. You had a full view of your face, and we could experience what your facial expressions were. Especially the child case, the facial expressions were really wonderful, and I think you should practice this more into your speeches so that others can learn from it. The term happy life, happy wife, happy life is really good and impressive, and it is giving the entire speech's objective or target within that statement. So even though people are not very actively listening, they would have got the point, your point by this statement, and you have repeated a few times. So it's really impressive that you have made it. Some things that you have to improve on is that you look like your eye contact is moving, your eyeball is moving up and down sometimes, as if I think you were looking at the timing or something, I'm not sure, but it is a bit disturbing. Your gestures, apart from facial expression, you can try something else, although it's restricted on online, but you can still try and practice it for your in-person speeches. I think you iterated the term ladies and gentlemen. This you can reduce a bit because there's a lot of iterations of this term and it is already registered on the audience's mind. You could have had a more attractive title to impress the audience at the first moment itself. Sometimes you had a little bit of grammatical error which you can concentrate and reduce upon. You had still 1 minute and 28 seconds to go, which you can utilize to build upon your conclusion. With that, I appreciate for completing your first speech on evaluation and feedback, and I wish you a very good luck. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
All right. Thank you very much, Meenakshi, for the evaluation of CJ's speech. Okay, the next evaluator will be CJ, who will be evaluating your speech, Meenakshi. So let's go over to CJ. All yours, CJ.
Fabulous Friday Club President, fellow Toastmaster, and distinguished guests, and especially to you, Meena. I'm going to evaluate you on how awesome you are, the tips to become better, and the challenge for you to soar to greater heights. Your speech is very well structured and organized, and you end with a good, strong call to action. You engage the audiences well by asking questions throughout your speech. I love your personal stories. There are so many stories about the 3D glasses, the hot coffee, hot pot, and eyebrow experiences. I can see the audiences laughing and entertained. You meet the project objectives very well as you use a volume of vivid vocabulary. I can resonate with you as I can feel the pain of wearing the spectacle too. Improvement, I will share with you some of the improvement to your speech. First is your eye contact. The strategic positioning of your eye towards the center of the camera. Sometimes I can see your eye contact moving towards the left and the right. And placing the camera dead center on the top of the screen is the best. Make sure you get a little distance between yourself and the camera, and the experience is good. Secondly, you can inject pauses in your speech. You can draw the audience in after you have asked a question and pause. Sometimes you can speak slower to attract the attention of the audience. The challenge for you is to use more hand gesture. I cannot see your hand moving because you're as cool as a cucumber. All in all, I would like to congratulate you, Meena. You're calm, cool, and confident. Your speech is entertaining, enriching, enlightening for us. You are an eloquent speaker. You excel in engaging the audiences by asking questions and sharing personal stories with us. Just to take note of your eye contact, look directly at the camera, strategic positioning in the center. The challenge for you is to use more hand gesture in your future speeches, and I look forward to your next speech. Mina, back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much, CJ. Okay, and let's move on to our next evaluator. Our next evaluator will be Aaron Ting, who will be evaluating Panos' speech. Aaron, all yours.
Wonderful evening, fellow Toastmasters. I'm here to evaluate Panos' speech. So in a goodwill speech, in order to be able to generate goodwill among the people who are listening, being able to adjust and array emotions is extremely important. So how well has Panos done this in his speech today? First two areas I thought he did it excellently is number one, he was able to paint very vivid images in our minds through his gestures. For example, when he talked about how he managed to see humor, he used the analogy of a gentle thread, and he drew out this gentle thread to you. So by using effective hand gestures, he has allowed us to easily visualize, crystallize, and internalize this scene in our minds. And when you make it easy for us to imagine what you're trying to say in your speech, you make your speech easy to follow. And when your speech is easy to follow, your speech impact will be greatly magnified and amplified. So I thought this is the first area you did wonderfully to bring out emotions. Secondly, you are a very sincere and natural speaker, and we knew this because you're constantly smiling throughout your speech. And as the saying goes, let your smile change the world, but don't let the world change your smile. So by smiling throughout and constantly through your speech, you have created a momentum for a very, very successful speech, because right from the start, we want to listen to what you have to say because you're just so sincere, right? So these two areas I thought you did excellently in bringing out our emotions. Now, how can you, given that you are the best speaker of the evening, right? So I thought very hard. I was wondering and pondering about how I could give you better feedback. And I managed to find two. So my first suggestion for you is, one of the questions in the evaluation form is, how did the audience react to the speaker, right? Because this is an online platform, we will not be able to see, because some people will choose to mute their screens and all that. So perhaps what you could do is, in your introduction to the Toastmaster of the Day, suggest to the Toastmaster of the Day to remind people or to request people to unmute their screens, so that during your speech, you will be able to see whether your speech has generated goodwill among them, because this is the objective of your speech. So fully utilize the Toastmaster of the Day. He is there for a reason to introduce you. Fully utilize him, write a good introduction so that we know we will meet our screens and you will be able to see. And once you're able to see our emotions, you can adjust your goodwill accordingly. My second suggestion for you is, one of the other questions in the evaluation form is, through performing a service to the audience, you're supposed to impress us about Toastmasters, assuming we know nothing about Toastmasters beforehand. So perhaps one way you could do so is to simply tell us stories. For example, you are from Greece, right? You could tell us a story of how your Toastmasters scene there, or rather in your club. So for example, how a new member who was once shy and introverted in your club, after going through maybe a member's mentorship in your club, wins a humorous speech contest or something like that, right? Becomes a better speaker. So tell us stories, because success stories convince us value of your message. So it's something for you to consider. So all in all, you are a good speaker because you were able to bring out our emotions through your sincere smile, through your gestures, and consider telling us stories as well as using the Toastmasters introduction for better effect. Thank you, and back to you, Anand.
All right. Thank you very much, Aaron, for your insightful evaluation. Up next, we have Wei Ching, who will be giving her evaluation on Alicia's speech. Wei Ching, all yours.
Good evenings, especially to Alicia. And we will all agree, Alicia is actually an experienced speaker. She, even though it's this online platform, she also appear very naturally and use her eye contacts and also the vocal varieties. And I have to say, she actually have a very assertive voice. Like, she'll say there's no excuse. There's no H2O. There's no lack of money to assert us that we can chase our dream, no matter when you want to start. And beside that, she also give a very vivid, authentic examples, like who are the real person that they started to achieve dream, their goal at their later stage of their life, like 50 years old, 60 years old. So she give us a series of names just to convince us that she's not bluffing. She actually used a real life example to encourage the audience to uplift the spirit of the audience. So these are the good points that Alicia have shared with us. And for the area of improvement, I actually think that in order to uplift spirit, Alicia can actually spend some time to build rapport with the audience, because people will change or touch or be uplift is because they engage emotionally. So to engage emotionally, either people feeling sad, angry, or regret. So to build out this, Alicia may need to ask more questions or pause more when you ask the question to allow time for the audience to generate that emotion, like, yeah, I actually feel regret that I couldn't provide more. I couldn't be the rich father to my children. So, and then only you come in with the assertive voice saying that this is never too late. You can still do a lot of things. You can still do, achieve the goal that you want to do. And this is the, so to conclude, I would say Alicia is a very assertive, use assertive voice in her speech, and she also have a very good structure of the speech, and give a very good example to support her point. And the area of improvement will be try to use the pause, give some time to generate emotion among the audience so that they would buy in and feel lifted up. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Wei Ching. Thank you for your evaluation of Alicia's speech. Okay, our next evaluator will be Alicia. She'll be evaluating Peter's speech. Alicia, all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Anand. A fantastic evening to club president, to members and guests, and especially to Toastmaster Peter Ng. Well done on your speech. Today, I'll evaluate Peter in two areas. The first area is what I can learn from him, and the second area is what we can all learn together in those parts of the speech where he was a bit lackluster. For the first part, where I can learn from him, he did very well in giving us an appetizer. The speech title itself, WWW, Why We Worry, really resonate with me. It whetted my appetite to want to know more because I've always been a worrier. And I'm sure the audience will also relate to it. Then the next thing that he did pretty well was he had dashes of humor inside in his speech. That was dry humor. For instance, he was talking about the Amidala and Princess Annadella. So that was pretty funny. And he used colorful language, colorful descriptive language, where he talked about public speaking, where the heartbeat popped up and stood out dead. That was, I found it very interesting. But the best thing he did was the excellent use of visual aids. I can commend him on this excellent variety of visual aids right from the start. He already showed us the mask, the toilet paper, And then the topic is on abstract. So the abstract topic of worry is pretty abstract. And was able to show us the picture of the brain so that we can understand where worry originated from. It originated from prehistoric times. We were made and was part of the human nature to worry. It helped us to survive, right? And he also continued to engage us with the drum beat, live drum beat. So that was wonderful. Now let's go on to the other area where we can all learn together from those parts of his speech that were lackluster. The major point of his lackluster was his time management. The speech was supposed to be 8 minutes, but Toastmasters Peter went overshot and went to 8 minutes 48 seconds. So my take is that I really enjoyed your speech, but you need to shorten your introduction so that you can lengthen the section where you were talking about ways to get rid of worry. You only managed to talk about 2, but I would prefer that if you could shorten the introduction, you could talk about 3 ways. And finally conclude with a call to a message for us, what we can do to stop all, what if we done well, the positive aspects of worry and how we can manage it, and that will be very good. I'll hope all this will be food for your champion in you, and I'm looking forward to your next speech. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
All right, thank you very much, Alicia. Our next evaluator will be Panos Corrales, who will be evaluating Pallavi. Panos, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, Pallavi, for giving me the chance to evaluate a speech that I resonate with. My intention is to do your speech justice. So to begin with, images and words, those two go wonderfully together. I can see the part of the speech that he gave. I can see the man fishing. I can see how this connects to leadership. Then I can see the butterfly and the confusion at the face of the person who thought would be helping the butterfly. And in the end, I can see the image of the lion as a leader. Wonderfully done. You backed up those stories with your character and your energy. In other words, you made the stories your own, which was part of your speech objectives. Your general purpose was to inform us about leadership and perhaps also to inspire us towards a certain type of leadership rather than being the type of leaders that spoon feed information and tasks to other people, being in a position where we can cultivate leadership qualities within other people. In a sense, this carries the essence of what we do in Toastmasters. And I was very pleased to see that you embody that in your message to us tonight. I would like to bring to your attention that, at least to me, the clarity of your speech's general purpose came at about 1.5 minutes when you referred to that directly. And I believe it would have put everything into a more, in a better light if I knew that from the beginning, perhaps through your speech title, which I did not get to hear. Perhaps it was there, but I didn't get to hear it. And also if from the very beginning, your intention was clearly stated. And another thing I would like to bring your attention to for future speeches is a speaking quality called frugality. And frugality sometimes helps the audience to focus and follow the flow of your speech. In a way, could you perhaps achieve your speech objectives by sharing one story and then exhausting the usefulness of this story to let it sink all in our minds. But overall, I was impressed, and I believe I speak on behalf of all of us, by how much value you can add to 7 minutes of my time. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you very much, Panos. Let's give a wave. Our next evaluator will be evaluating Hiren's speech. Let us welcome or give a wave to Peter Ng. Peter, all yours.
I said I'm still finishing up my evaluation and frantically typing away. Okay, let me begin. Hiren, as far as the last speech compared to this speech, I've seen great improvement in the use of visual aids in every aspect of your speech today. You started with your first 30 seconds introducing us to, well, the most important season of the year, February, the heart-to-heart month. And it leads into your, well, topic, which is really about the health of our heart. And I think you use a very good visual aid with your charts. Now, where's the chart? Okay, found it. I'm not going to share it again because I think everybody already seen your chart. It's very nicely done up, your chart, which gave us all the steps into reducing heart disease and what are the nutrition and what are the regular exercise we need to keep, the tobacco control. And what is even more interesting is you have actually created a tool that shows us how a heart get constricted as a result of stress. And I like the way you presented stress, and when you flip that around, it gives us a different meaning of Valentine's Day, how we can take care of our heart to enjoy Valentine's Day. Now, this is commendable because you show us the pros and the cons and the positive and the negative of how we can take care of our heart with this final prop that you use. It must have taken you some time to prepare all these props, isn't it, Hiren? Are you there? Oh, your picture just shifted in the gallery view to the right side. Yes, you're there. Cool. How much time? I think you easily could have spent half a day or so preparing all your props and presentation slide. This is highly commendable. Yes, you have wrapped up the whole story in a very interesting fashion. Not a single moment was I turning away from the screen. You know, I'm a visual person, and it's kind of difficult for me to concentrate if a person just speak into the camera in a very stoic stance. In this speech, you did very well. So congratulations, keep up the good work. It's a great demonstration speech, and I look forward to your future speech.
Hey, thank you, Peter. And finally, to evaluate Angela's successful club series speech, Creating the Best Club Climate, I've gotten two evaluators to give us some feedback. The first evaluator will be Panos. So Panos, please, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, for yet another opportunity in tonight's meeting to have the pleasure of sharing with all of you how much value I get from a presentation that underlines the importance of quality in everything that we do. So Toastmaster Angela, with the intention of being commensurate with the quality of your presentation, I would say that you added examples from experience and you covered all bases. And particularly when you mentioned thriving, that moment was an eye-opener to me, because I understood thriving can be a measure of quality. Then you expanded on that from my question, but the way you did it took the quality of the presentation to another level. So my first point would be, perhaps you would like future presentations like this to be focused more on your experience, because you clearly have a lot, rather than the PowerPoint that is suggested from Toastmasters International. And another point, perhaps you would like to more narrowly focus the content of such presentations to certain key areas that you know from experience that are directly useful to us and that we can put them into immediate action. And a second suggestion for the effectiveness of such presentations would be to perhaps run a short survey for the most important aspects of a lengthier presentation, such as the Successful Club series, so that you know where to focus on. So all in all, Angela, you have a lot of quality to give us. And I wonder what you will be coming up next. Back to you.
Thank you, Panos. Wonderful. We have our next evaluator for Angela's speech will be Hiren. Hiren?
Yes, of course. So, Angela, I think it's always difficult to follow Panos's evaluation because he evaluates so much in detail that, the next evaluator is always in trouble. So I will not repeat what Panos has said. He's almost stolen all of my thunder. So, Panos, I give it to you and I will equate it one day when we meet. Yeah, that's on a joking note, but I think Panos, wonderful evaluation. So, Angela, I will keep it short. In terms of commend, recommend, and comment, that's the structure that I would like to follow when I evaluate your speech. And I think most of it Panos has already mentioned, so I'm trying to edit and not repeat things. But from a comment perspective or commend perspective, as I would say, I think fantastic experience. I think when you spoke, it is more of your in-depth experience that spoke rather than the content. So I think well done. It shows the richness of your experience within Toastmasters, and that was absolutely commendable. From a recommend perspective, I would say that speeches like this, and because you are in a very advanced journey, and I'm sure you're in the DTM track that you're following, but it is more about your experience sharing rather than the Toastmaster content slide. That is just as Panos mentioned, and it is mentioned in the manual as well. Those is the suggestive framework. You can juice it up by real life photograph from, Toastmaster reception areas or meeting in progress or labels, etc. So that really will bring things to life, and people can actually visualize and see what you're talking about, rather than just the mundane, very dry Toastmasters content that they've given. It's a very linear content, and people start losing interest. So it's because here we're talking about more of richness and experience, and bringing it live through stories or photographs of real life, of Toastmaster labels and badges and sergeant and arms in action would really bring the speech to life. So that is my recommend. And again, on the commendable front, you delivered with all sincerity. And as I would say, your experience is far more overweighing the content, and which is what we require in speeches. So all the very best in your journey. Back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Hey, thank you, Hiren. Let's give all our evaluators a big hand once again. Hey, thank you very much for evaluating our speakers. All right, now we shall go to the polls.
We need timers report, Anand.
Yes, the timers report.
Okay, first evaluator Shida Baram, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
3 minutes 24. CJ 2 minutes 36. Aaron 3 minutes 28. Wei Ching 2 minutes 27. Alicia is 3 minutes 45. Panos has 2 timing, 3 minutes 10 and 2 minutes 23. Peter is 3 minutes 04. Hiran 2 minutes 05.
All right. Thank you very much. I think Willie has, okay, probably not. Okay, shall I launch the polling, Willie? Let me launch it and see. Okay. Now let's vote for them. All right. 14, 8. Now we have 8 people, or 10, the numbers going up, 11, 12, and 2 more. We got 2 more people to evaluate, to give their polls. And looks like it's gotten 13 and 1 more, last one. Okay, in 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, wonderful. All of them have voted in. And we have a hat trick tonight, 3 out of 3. Let's give a big wave to Panos. Woohoo! Panos won our best evaluator for tonight. He was also the best table topic speaker, and best evaluator. Wonderful, Panos. Okay, now I shall now hand it back over to our club president to do the closing address. Willie? Yes, Willie. Club president. Oh, yes, he's there.
Fellow Toast, thank you. Before I go my closing speech, can I have some feedback for the guests? Error, can I have a one line a feedback how you view our meeting? Give us your feedback. I will unmute you.
Hi, yeah, wait. Hi, yeah, it's quite interesting. I mean, I think it's the second time I've taken part in an online meeting. So the first I took part was when I was back in China for my exchange. I think it's quite interesting format because when you're not able to see the person's vocal variety or the person's body language, it'll pose a greater challenge to evaluators because right now, content will be the main thing that they will have to focus on because you can't really see the person's body language as much or the person's vocal variety. So I think it's quite interesting to do an online meeting. It's a very interesting experience, and yeah, I'll be back. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Professor Sumo, any feedback for you?
Excellent meeting. This is probably the marathon meeting. I have never been in a meeting this long before, but this is quite excellent to have different variety of speaker, different variety of evaluator, different people, that all of them in one night. This is excellent, and I would like to come back and learn a lot more from your club. I do appreciate you invited me to come and my time that's spent here is worthwhile spending my time on it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Professional Sumo. Can I have the next guest, Suzanne?
Yes, hi. I think this is a very refreshing experience to bring the Toastmasters Club meeting to the online space. And I really enjoyed it very much. And I think that this is a very helpful format for new members, new Toastmasters who are going through, who are not used to speaking to crowds yet, have stage fright experience, and this going into this online club experience would help them to overcome the fear by getting to that space of speaking to a few people. Yeah, I think this would really help them to build up their confidence to a higher level. Yeah.
Thank you, Suzanne. Would you like to, Aaron and Suzanne and Professor Sombo, would you like to do a speech in the next meeting? To experience.
Can you repeat that, please? Can you repeat that?
Okay, I mean that would you like to do a project speech to experience even better?
I would love to.
Okay, I will work out this offline next week. Okay. And how about Suzanne?
Okay.
Most likely in March because I'll be quite busy in the end Feb. Yeah, in February.
Aaron, what will do a?
I'll stick to being an evaluator. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do I have other guests? Joe is our regular visitor, so I will not ask her. Okay. I will only say a few words. It's always repeated in our physical Toastmaster Club. The meeting is marvelous, entertainment, enjoyable, and most important, is fun. It's not a serious meeting that, I mean, it's supposed to, even this is online meeting, we try to be professional because in Toastmaster Club, we must learn to be professional, presentable. An online meeting is different for a physical club with online attendance. The difference is, in online meeting, you are all muted. And in a physical club with online meeting, we call it online attendance, is where you can have the engagement for the audience. So I believe the guests who have attended the first time or second time or third time, whatever, they feel that our clubs is moving on to a journey of getting better and better. Just now, to beginning of the session, I do a search on the internet. I do a calculation. The Singapore online meeting, including its demo meeting, we have hit 16 meeting already. Minus 4, that is demo meeting. We only it's our 12 meeting. 60 meeting is a long journey. It's a everyone is very tired. Most of the members who are speaking every week or every other week have shown tremendous improvement in their speaking. The nervousness that we first have when we do our icebreaker or a physical club have disappeared. The only time that is the nervousness that will come back is when we never prepare our speech. I understand that last night that happened 40 minutes ago. Most of us are still celebrating with our loved ones. I appreciate who have attended the meeting. I would thank you for your participation tonight, and we hope everyone could be back again. And I declare the meeting closed, and we can have a short